Hello everybody, it's I, Flamingo right here, back again for another video, and not the kind that you might be expecting, but either way, you're just gonna get a background of me doing my characters and mascots with my own slides, and hopefully that can at least entertain you guys instead of just showing images of clips of everything every now and then. Now, for those who are wondering why my voice sounds deeper, it's because I'm getting over a cold, my nose is stuffed up, and I hope to you guys for your patience and everything that I hope to get better to do the Magical Girl podcast when I have the chance. But the point of this video is for me to at least address something that I've been needing to address. So yeah, fuck it, let's talk about it. So for those who don't know, in March of 2024, I covered a user by the name of Star Giant Productions. It was admittedly the chant that's I actually got my time to speak of how I felt about this user. And Star Giant Productions, no matter how you look at this person, is still dangerous, no matter how many times they come back to the internet. I say this as in someone who, while I may not have known them personally, I decided to get my word out there in March of 2024 because clearly I had something in my mind to get my word out there. But over the time, I started doing other videos on Star Giant and of himself because, for the most part, I wanted to get my thoughts out there as much as I can. This goes without saying that the videos I've done are not anything special, I would say, but something that would at least get my mind out of, especially because of what's been going on lately. See, in case you guys couldn't tell, I myself may not have had a connection to Star Giant personally, but even I'll admit that I actually did do videos on this individual 4 times already. One being where I talked about my discussion in detail after Mr. Enter did his video 2 or 3 days after, whereas I did my video because I wanted to get my word out there and see what it goes from that. And from that point on, I started doing other videos on Star Giant as well. Those videos on Star Giants in their own shitty takes, like, say, for example, their own apology, which, yeah, for someone who calls it Be Better Today Than Yesterday, you might as well call it Be Worse Than Yesterday, because as while I did do a reaction video on said video, it wasn't that great. The audio was jacked up as shit. My video kept cutting off, and also I was still trying to do my own reaction to see what happened. And after that, because I wanted to just say how I felt about that so-called apology video. And afterwards, I started doing another video last year talking about the Star Giant campaign, which, if you know anything about me, you know how much I love having passion into projects, not necessarily go so far out of their way just to improve anything else. Now, will say that the campaign video, while it is better than the Be Better Today Than Yesterday video, mostly because I actually tore apart and do one with that, although Channel 11 did that a lot better than I could have, it's here where I have to say that I did another video, which was 8 months later. Yeah, wrap your tongue around that one. Anyways, 8 months later, I decided to do a live stream with my friends, and where we all roasted Star Giant. Now, I will say that despite that, however, I don't want to necessarily say that that's where it could have ended and that was it. But after digging into something about Star Giant's takes, which, yeah, let's be honest, Star Giant's takes are just as bad as him, if not worse, or maybe even more than that. I really don't care. Yeah, this video's not scripted, so I don't care what you call it. What I am here to tell you is what I'm going to be doing for this video. See, in case you guys couldn't tell from the thumbnail, I do defeated when I talk about Star Giant. I know. Originally, I wanted to do a video about his takes on Magical Girl because, well, duh, you're talking to someone who has Magical Girl podcast, so obviously this would be something that I would be into, right? Well, I would say that if it wasn't for the fact about how much it really pissed me off to no end. Which, honestly, given the fact how much Star Giant loves to make people rage bait, why else would you watch those videos? Like, seriously, that's really the only possible reason I can think of why people can do videos on Star Giant, just so they can rage bait themselves. Normally, I would to comment on something like that when I talk about his Magical Girl takes, but let's be real here. His takes are not just awful, but they also follow the same formula. Oh, this series doesn't have this, because it's not like Madoka Magica. Motherfucker, I wasn't expecting you to at least give the benefit of the doubt, but still. What I'm saying here is that when you get right down to it, doing a video on Star Giant is pretty much anyone's time, especially when it comes to the internet these days. I mean, hell, I've been doing Star Giant videos for as long as I can process. I mean, seriously, I started doing this after Mr. Enter did his video because I wanted to get my word out there, and wouldn't you know it, I actually did befriend one who I wasn't expecting to befriend one of his former artists. If that person's watching, I do thank you very gratefully. I couldn't thank you enough already. But even with that said, however, I feel like the more I felt like Star Giant was just not part of my time, the more I start asking myself, why do I care so much? No, really, this is kind of a common question I ask myself every now and then. Why do I care about talking about a Star Giant he's not worth my time? Well, just fairly recently, a few months ago, Star Giant released a doc saying his quote-unquote final goodbye. Now, I know what you're thinking, and yes, you're right. Having him say goodbye is like saying hello to new open doors. That's really the best way to describe it. I really can't stress how much this really fucking pisses me off. Like, more than you usually think of. See, throughout my time as a video content creator, when it comes right down to Star Giant's videos, all I ever did was roast the guy. And really, that's really what I do. If you've been following me or talked to me in person or anything like that, you know how it goes. I'm not ashamed to admit I do roast people I don't like, especially when they hurt people who they personally hurt, because let's be honest, Star Giant hurting people is not really something that we're expecting. Oh, kill me. Yeah, I really don't care at this point. What I'm saying here is that Star Giant is just one of those users who I personally wanted to take down their Magical Girl takes on theirs, because they actually did take something like, say, Cardcap Sakura, and when it comes to Sakura and it's Toyo being what they say that they're a couple. First off, I don't know if this is anyone's judgment, but even if you're not a fan of Cardcap Sakura, you would already have figured out by now they're not lovers. Like, seriously, I've watched Cardcap Sakura. You're talking to a Magical Girl fan. Shut up. And I think that's really the thing when it comes to Star Giant. He doesn't do any basic research, nor does he even watch the show entirely. Now, I'm not gonna really say it's anyone's fault for not wanting to watch the entire show, because, let's be honest, it took me like, what, half a year to watch Cardcap Sakura? But even I know for a fact they're both cousins. And it's both the Sakura and Toyo. Yeah, they're still best friends, but you get my point, right? This is really asinine behavior. What I'm saying is that even with that said, there's also the fact that they also had this audacity to think that, oh, because it's not like Madoka Magica. Look, I've done a video on Madoka Magica years ago. Well, almost 2 years ago, but still, I don't care. What I can right down to it, Star Giant just goes without saying that, oh, this is not like Madoka Magica. This is not like Madoka Magica. Why is that? Maybe because they're trying a different formula? Seriously, this is the same problem I have with people who talk about Sailor Moon and other Magical Girl shows that aren't like Sailor Moon. Because one show has to be like the same as the other, and this really it irritates me to no freaking end. I can't stress enough how much this really bothers me. Maybe it's because I'm really one of the most impatient people out there when it comes to judging something just because of it. Because if you see my Phantom Thieves Gene video, you already know how much I hate it when people just judge things because, oh, it's terrible, it's the worst out there, when really I can think of worse things out there. Don't get me wrong, I'm not defending the genre just by saying that, oh, it's everything that you could ever ask for. No, I'm not one of those people. I would never be one of those people. I would find that shallow, to be honest. No, my problem with that is that if you're just gonna complain and bitch about how one thing is not like the other, then I'm gonna call it quits. I'm just gonna come and put my flamingo flipper down and say things like, hey, you really think that this genre is gonna be the same as that? It's not always gonna be like that. Like, yeah, there are gonna be certain aspects that are gonna having the same thing over and over again, but let me remind you, this is the same person who wants everything to be like this, because why not? Madoka Magica, Amphibia, Mario or Luigi or whatever has come by. You get my point. I'm sick and tired of this. I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like it or not, I can't stand Star Giant and going on and on and on about how one thing is not like the other. You do realize that if they're not going to be the same as the other, it's going to be just the same thing over and over, and it wouldn't relate to other ways of doing so. There's a reason why I say it's called reinventing a genre. You can take a genre out of something in media and make it on your own with a fresh coat of paint on it. Seriously, you're talking to someone who's been learning this since what? Since a little kid, or maybe even younger than that. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, so I decided to go a little and see what happens anyway. And they didn't watch all of Ojama's Adore Me, and the list goes on. You get my point, right? If I did this here video where I talk about their takes on Magical Girl, you know I had a festival with that. Oh my god. What I'm saying is that, despite what Star Giant's saying, however, I'm just not one of those people who want to talk about Star Giant a lot on my channel. Like a close friend of mine, I don't like talking about stuff like that. That's what my channel doesn't want to seem to aim to do. And when it comes right down to it, I want to be one of those people who just wants to have fun. Like, come on now. Why do you think I do a Magical Girl podcast? Why do you think I do live streams? Well, technically, I don't do live streams every Friday or something like that. But I will say that when I get to do a live stream, I do get to do it, despite not many people wanting to tune in. I don't know how many people care at the end. What I'm saying is that, despite what most people will tell you, Star Giant is just never going to give up on not just being one of those people who wants to quit altogether, but as well, let's just stop bitching about it. Again, go back to what I said. Just because a certain genre that you like doesn't mean it has to be the same. It's going to be the same thing over and over again. It's the same problem I have with him with Amphibia. If you've been on my live stream, or maybe if you have at least seen it, I don't care at this point. It's right there on the channel if you want to see it for yourself. But I did say in my own words that Star Giant has this notion where it seems like, oh, Amphibia this, Amphibia that, and all that stuff. Bitch, I hate to break it to you, but I can't enjoy Amphibia because of you. I know some people are going to say to me, oh, but you can still enjoy it because we don't claim him as our own, but that's the thing. I can't really watch it because he spoiled every goddamn thing about it. Seriously. And this is why I say I don't like talking about spoilers if you've been on my watching my podcast for a long time now. And the thing is, however, I don't go so far as to say this, except if I say spoilers ahead, if I had to, like my last video. What I'm saying is that Star Giant just doesn't seem to understand anything at this point. He doesn't seem to understand when to quit. He doesn't understand, and people don't want him on the internet anymore. He doesn't seem to understand why people so fucking hate him all the damn time. And the thing is, when I say I feel defeated, that's really the best way to describe it. I couldn't tell you how much I felt about when watching his videos. And the thing is, I feel really tired. Not just tired of watching his videos, but I'm tired of reacting to them entirely. So what does this lead up to? You're probably asking. Well, to be as forward as I can, I don't want to talk about Star Giant all the time on my channel. I'm free to admit I can roast people if I really want to, but the thing is, it feels like I'm just really shitting on their graves. I don't like doing that. Seriously. I've been at this for what? For around 2 years. Yeah, by the time this video goes up, it'll be like, what, 2 years? Maybe over a few days of 2 years. I don't care at this point. What I'm saying is that it feels like it's the same thing over and over again. You're just gonna hear me bitch about Star Giant. You're just gonna hear me say things like Star Giant, and you don't seem to understand. It's something like that. When I did that campaign video, I will say a close friend of mine actually did feel contemplated about how I did about it or complimented. I really don't care. Like, again, I'm not using a script right now, despite that, however, but seriously, I'm sick and tired of talking about Star Giant a lot on my channel. I guess that's no news to anyone, but if you are someone who's into roasting Star Giant, like say the archive channel who has a lot of misery watches, go right ahead. You can watch those for yourself if you want to, but I must process into saying that I'm just not interested in talking about Star Giant anymore when you get right down to it. I know that some people are gonna think that maybe I'm quitting or something like that because, oh, you're a quitter, Flammy. You're just doing that because you don't want to talk about Star Giant. And the thing is, that's the thing. I don't want to talk about Star Giant anymore. I want to talk about media, like my own thing and stuff like that. And you might well say it gets boring after a while. Well, let me tell you, which is better, drama or talking about a user who, while you may not have any connection with, you still feel pissed off every chance you get. Seriously, this is kind of the thing I have with most people on the internet. They're only there to watch something about the drama and stuff that revolves around not having their fun. Like, guys, you can still watch videos that have their own fun and games, right? Like, seriously, my videos are not anything special, but I can definitely tell you, when it comes to watching Star Giant videos, especially on my end, they're not anything special. Even if you watch that live stream I did in November of 2025, which was when my friends and I just kept roasting that witch all the time. I will say that was probably the better of my videos, but that's like choosing a bucket of water and a bucket of ice. I just really feel like you're both there for anything else. And when it gets right down to it, I just don't feel like talking about Star Giant anymore on my channel. Even if, yeah, there will be times where I will comment on the archive channel just to get my thoughts out there, but I'm not going to make a compilation of that. I'm not, because chances are you people can find that better than I could have. And what's more, you could probably do better editing than me. Seriously, my editing is not worth squat if it wasn't obvious. Hey, Stargiant, at least I can admit that I'm not a good editor by any means. So there you have it. Oh. Yeah, I know you're gonna call me an abuser if you ever do find these videos of mine. Yeah, I'm being dead serious. When you get right down to it, this is just how I feel altogether. The more you think about it, the less I feel like I care at this point. Stargiant may have fled on the internet, or maybe he's hiding in a secret account because he's hiding a secret account. I thought secrets were made for liars. I'm not gonna get over that shit, so if anyone's watching that video right now, just try not to get your brain in a mushy mesh or whatever. I don't care at this point to what people call it. But I feel like even with that said, however, I just really don't care anymore. Why should I care about someone who's gonna just make me feel angry? I don't want to get angry all the time. Yeah, there are moments where I will get pissy. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. But I am saying this as in someone who just doesn't want to talk about the Stargiant anymore. Like, seriously. The fact that I started this whole channel out just to call someone out because she was an admitted groomer, and I had to cut her off because of how much she really not just betrayed me, but betrayed everyone else. I had to get the word out. And the same could be said with this here video in some cases, because again, why should I talk about a user who for all intents and purposes, just really just makes me feel disappointed or angry, or possibly the combination of both? And when it gets right down to it, that's really what I feel about Stargiant overall. I can't get any more mad than I can be. And when you get right down to it, it just goes without saying, Stargiant will do anything without a second thought. Oh, I'll come back on the internet because no one will freaking remember, right? Seriously, you think we have dementia or something? What the hell, dude? Seriously, I can't even tell you how much this stresses me enough. Bottom line, what I'm saying is that even if you do like Stargiant's roasting sessions, everything, you can find those videos elsewhere. My videos are nothing special, just keep that in mind. I do have a playlist, so I'll link that in the description if you want to see it for yourself, but I'm saying this as in I just don't want to talk about Stargiant anymore on this channel. Like, I don't feel the need to. But if there's anything I want to talk about, maybe, but I really don't know for sure. I can't keep any promises. There's anything to judge by. This past month has been nothing but shit to me a lot on time, and I've been contemplating what I've been doing for myself lately, and the list goes on. I've had a sore throat, I had a stuffy nose, and as you can probably guess, I still have yet to recover from this. I don't know when the next Magical Girl podcast will come out, because once again, I don't know. By the time I'm making this video, I'm still watching the next Arena Tonomoro series, so keep your head up in the clouds, I guess. I don't really know. What I'm saying here is that Stargiants just won't learn. Like, at all. You can teach a toddler how to learn, but you can't teach a grown-ass man who's close to their 30s to learn something. How sad is that? Like, seriously, my niece and nephews can learn faster than this prick can. And guess what? Stargiant, if you ever do end up watching this video, let me be the first to say, why do we even care at this point? Why should we care you're coming back? No one wants you back. No one wants you around. Not your victim. Not any of the other people you've hurt. Not even anyone you've come across on. I don't care if you think of me as an abuser. I've been called worse things. I don't really care. What I care about is those people need safety, and you need your ass locked up. Get it? You work for a ass out of it. This ain't lying. What I'm saying is that, yeah, this is what I feel about it altogether. This entire month was not only torturing for me, but I'm still doing whatever I can in order to do what I can anyways. Again, my own illness aside, I hope that this is worth everything I got so far, and hopefully, and I do want to say it again, hopefully when I get the next video out, it'll be less stuffy and more fun, at least what I can say. So, final thoughts, that's all I have to say. So without further ado, I thank you all so much for watching. See you all next time. Hopefully the next Magical Girl podcast will come out sooner than it can, and yeah, I'll see you all around. Stay flamingo-tastic, everybody. See ya. Ugh.